guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. It was either the very end of last year or the very beginning of this year, I did a top five videos. I don't know, I just did a dramatic pause then. And I really enjoyed doing them. And October, which is the month we're in now, marks my 12 month or 1 year anniversary of using fountain pens and falling in love with this hobby and everything else. So I actually went, I wonder now, 12 months in, how I feel. So what I did is I went back, pardon me, to watched all those videos, and then I've just given it another go. Some of them have been, some things are the same, some I've changed. And so I thought I would just go through it with you guys, hoping to I've got 5, I'm going to make 5 videos to release them over this month. So let's get started. The first one was my top 5 lessons. Now, in my head, I'm like, how cool would it be if I covered it up with old ink swatches and tried to remove them to reveal things? Let's see if that works. Possibly not. So this was in my first video, and that is that FOMO is real, or the fear of missing out. Before I go any further, this ink is Ferris Wheel Press Beaver Dam Brown, for those who are going to ask. I think this is a really important lesson because you can get sucked into it. You can get sucked into going, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. And then you actually don't enjoy what you have that's right in front of you. People are always going to have fancier pens or limited edition or inks that are now discontinued, and that's fine. Focus on what you have. Focus on what first brought you into this hobby in the first place, because we all fell in love with it for a reason. I have definitely been a victim of FOMO and actually then gone and bought pens that I ended up selling pretty quickly because I was like, this isn't for me. Why, you know? So it's just, I guess, to remember, and I'm not trying to be preachy or anything. This is a lesson these are lessons, I guess, that I've taught myself or learnt myself as well. So that was the first one. The next one, I don't know if that word's going to give it away, is buy a sample first. This one might be a little bit controversial. Cost-wise, buying a bottle is always going to make more sense in terms of per milliliter. A 20 ml bottle for X amount of dollars versus a 2 ml sample sometimes for $2 or $3. But the way I've learned and what I'm looking at is I'm much more likely to buy a sample and finish it than if I was to buy bottles for everything. And I'm just really aware of the consumerist side of this hobby. And also, if you are someone who's really wanting to explore, especially if you're new to the hobby, samples for me just make more sense. I think it's just a really easy and fun way to get to know lots of different inks and types and everything else quicker without buying a whole bunch of bottles and potentially wasting a lot of that product. Cool. Now this is a lesson that I didn't have in my first one, but it is so real, and that is flush your pen before you use it for the first time. Whether it's being, from the factory and bits of packaging, or you've bought a pen secondhand and maybe they, cleaned it, but there's a little bit of ink sitting in there. Just give it a quick flush, let it dry out, and then ink it up. I definitely learned that the hard way. I've had some pens and gone, why? And then I've just flushed it and then gone, oh my God, this pen's amazing. So I just think it's such a simple step. It'll take you all of 5 minutes, and I am pretty confident that you'll have a more enjoyable writing experience if you do it. I know some people do talk about, sometimes there can be like residue from the machines and stuff still left in the pen, so that it is recommended that you do flush it. That's my third lesson. The next one as well, did I do? Yeah, 4. My last one, I know I included last time, but this is also, again, one that I didn't think of, but it's something I have learnt in probably the later bit of my first year in fountain pens, which is if you don't like the ink, try it in another pen. Certain inks and certain pen combinations just aren't going to work, whether it's the feed, the flow, the nib. I just think don't write off an ink. If you're really drawn to the colour and it just hasn't worked in the pen you inked it up in, give it another go in something else. I have in here Troublemaker Milky Ocean in my Opus 88 to medium nib. This was an awful writing experience. I really am still drawn to the swatch of this ink color. I only have a little bit of a sample left, but I'm absolutely going to give it a go in another pen. I'm going to think about what didn't work in here. And for me, it's very dry ink. I'm going to go, okay, so what's the wettest pen I have, and try it again. And I'm pretty confident that I'll either learn more about the pen and ink and have a different writing experience, or it will, and that's awesome because maybe I'll fall in love with it. But the alternate, going, oh no, that was a really crappy writing experience too, like that's also growth, because then it helps you work out what you do and don't like, and that can then influence what you purchase in the future. That was a very rambly sentence. Last but not least, and this was in my first video, is ask for help. I've said it before and I'll say it again, but the fountain pen community is awesome. And there are so many knowledgeable people out there. I think, pardon me, sorry, no question is silly, whether it's on Instagram or the different Facebook groups, or if you're lucky enough to be somewhere where there's pen meetups, absolutely ask for help, because people love talking about this stuff. We all share this passion, and get it when people are, overanalyzing about certain nib grinds or whatever it could be. So please, if you're going, oh, I'm not sure about this, but I don't want to sound silly, in my experience, you're never going to sound silly. People really want to share their knowledge and share their experiences within this hobby. So that is my first video, my redo of my top 5 lessons. Let me know if you think there's any in there that should have been included, or if there's a lesson in your first, beginning part of your fountain pen journey that you'd like to share with other people. Pop it down in the comments below. And then tomorrow, will it be tomorrow? Should I do these 5 days in a row or weekly? I love that I'm asking you, but I'm going to decide myself. Anyway, we'll see. All right, I'll leave it here. I've gone rambly enough. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll chat to you again soon. Bye.